Wendigo, a horror story from the past to real life. Origins of the Wendigo. So, have you ever heard about the Wendigo? If not, get ready, because this legend will seriously give you chills. The Wendigo is a legendary figure from the folklore of Native American tribes like the Algonquin, Cree, Ojibwa, and Innu. They believe that the Wendigo is an evil spirit that appears during harsh winters when food is extremely scarce, and it's often associated with cannibalism. Imagine this: a person who's forced to eat human flesh to survive turns into a Wendigo, a skinny, pale, and super hungry creature that can never be satisfied. The Wendigo is described as a terrifying figure, emaciated, with pale, almost translucent skin and sunken eyes. Some say it even has antlers, like a deer, or sharp fangs. The more you look at it, the scarier it gets. Wendigo's powers and appearance. Don't think the Wendigo is just your average monster. Besides being strong, it also has some supernatural skills. For example, it can move super fast through dense forests or snowstorms. But what really gives you the creeps is the Wendigo's ability to mimic human voices. So if you're in the woods and you hear someone calling for help, you might want to think twice before approaching. Could be the Wendigo trying to lure you in. On top of that, some say the Wendigo has hypnotic powers. When you see it, you're struck with such intense fear that you freeze in place, like something is pulling you closer. This makes you an easy target for the Wendigo to devour. Real-life stories linked to the Wendigo. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this all just a myth? Well, hold on. There are actually some real-life stories connected to the Wendigo legend. One of the most famous cases is Swift Runner from the late 19th century. Swift Runner was a Cree man from Alberta, Canada. The story goes that during the winter of 1878, he returned to town after spending the season in the wilderness with his family. But weirdly, he came back alone. He claimed that his family had died of starvation in the forest. But people got suspicious because Swift Runner looked totally healthy. Soon enough, it was discovered that he had killed and eaten his own family. He confessed that he had been possessed by the Wendigo, which drove him to commit the act. He was eventually executed for his crimes. But this story stands as one of the real-life examples of how the Wendigo legend could influence people. Then there's the phenomenon known as Wendigo psychosis. This is a condition where someone feels an uncontrollable urge to eat human flesh, even when other food is available. This phenomenon usually happens in remote areas of North America during extreme winter conditions. Super creepy, right? The Wendigo in pop culture. The Wendigo isn't just part of folklore. It's also appeared in movies, TV shows, and video game. For example, in horror films like Ravenous, Pet Sematary, the Wendigo is depicted as an evil entity that destroys anyone who encounters it. In TV series like Supernatural and Hannibal, the Wendigo appears as a figure that's not only terrifying physically, but also a symbol of moral decay. In the gaming world, there's Until Dawn, which is one of the best examples where the Wendigo is the main threat. Here, the Wendigo is depicted as the result of a cannibalism curse, with a truly horrifying appearance and terrifying powers. Conclusion: a symbol of greed and destruction. The Wendigo isn't just a monster in legend. It's a symbol of uncontrollable greed and the loss of humanity. The story of the Wendigo reminds us of the danger of losing control over ourselves. When we let our worst desires and urges take over, we can easily turn into monsters who only care about ourselves. Even though there's no solid scientific evidence proving the Wendigo's existence, stories about this creature still persist and thrive in various forms of pop culture. They serve as a warning about the importance of maintaining our morality and humanity, especially in difficult situations. So if you ever find yourself in the woods or a remote place, especially during winter, it's probably best to stay alert. Who knows, there might be a Wendigo lurking behind a tree, waiting for you to become its next victim. And remember, don't let yourself become the next prey.